Hey, what's up? It's apologist Leon Pearly. Today we're going to talk about how to solve the problem of unity. In America, everybody talks about unity, coming together collectively, right? And I figured it out. If you want the secret sauce, please take a seat because I'm about to break this down. How do we draw people in for more unity? I'm going to tell you. What we have to do, I'm going to say this slowly because I really want people to get this. It's never been about the color of our skin. It's always been about the culture. It's always been about the culture. That is the solution to the problem of America not being unified. It's the culture. I'll give you an example. Say I know a 21-year-old. Now I'm 37 years old. Okay? So a 21-year-old may like rock music, right? Let's say it's a white person that's 21 years of age, right? Not to say that black people can't like rock music, but you get what I'm saying. A white guy, 21 years of age, and he loves rock music. Rock music is a culture. There's a culture of people who love rock music, right? You can't just say rock music is just music because everyone doesn't like rock music. Just like hip hop. There's white people that hate hip hop, right? But what do we call it as black people? Hip hop culture. So the reason why they don't like hip hop is not because of the color of the rapper's skin, is because they don't like the culture of hip hop. Because hip hop is a culture, right? If you go to college, and I go to college, right? Again, it's culture. I can have a conversation with the white guy that's 21 years of age while he's in college because I went to college. So immediately, because we both went to college, there's culture in that. It's the college culture, right? We're going to have something in common in conversation. Let's do another one. Church culture, right? Doesn't matter if there's white, black, Hispanic people inside the church. We can all do activities together. We can all hang out together in unity. Why? Not because of the color of their skin, but because of the culture. Even my dog agrees. I'll say this. So then I was thinking about the culture. We're talking about bringing people together in unison. We want unity, right? Solidarity. We want people to stand together, right? So then it's the same thing with, let's say I walked into Walmart and I ran into a realtor, right? Hypothetically speaking. And that realtor knows what? The culture of real estate. I don't, right? So if we start engaging in conversation and all he's doing is talking about real estate, real estate, real estate, real estate, real estate, I'm not going to be able to connect with him very well because I don't know real estate. You get it? Let's say I walk into Walmart as a realtor getting some groceries and I run into a guy who is a realtor. What's going to happen? There's going to be a connection. The connection is he knows real estate, I know real estate. We may talk 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 45 minutes. You get what I'm saying? We may exchange phone numbers and say, hey, man, let's talk about real estate next weekend over some coffee and breakfast, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we can sell some houses together. Maybe we can do a deal together. You get it? Yes, yes. So again, It's never been about the color of someone's skin. I know that the difference between racism and racial hatred is racial hatred is hating someone because of the color of their skin, and racism is about power. So if you meet, let's just say I meet a white person that knows about real estate and knows about stocks, that knows about 401ks, and this white person refuses to teach me, that could be a form of racism. That's the reason why some black people will say every white person in the world, just using this as an example, some black people will say every white person in the world is racist because if a white person has ever made more than $40,000 a year in a good corporate job, why haven't they helped other black people get hired at that particular job? So that's been like the narrative for so many years, right? And there's truth to it, and then there's just don't even worry about it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like there's truth to it because even I know people that will look at me and say, "Oh, you're doing very well in X, Y, and Z. I may make a phone call for you to help you out." When a white person tells a black person they can make a phone call to help you out, they have connections, right? Connections that you don't have. Why? Because you weren't in that culture of success. See, even success is a culture, but it just varies on in what areas of the culture you fall into. So for example, if I meet a guy who does that specializes in stocks, right? He can tell me everything I need to know about stocks, right? But racism kicks in if he chooses not to inform me on stocks, because then he knows that he could very well be empowering me to make just as much money as him. But he could still smile in my face and still shake my hand. You get what I'm saying? So when you meet white people, Hispanic people, black people, everybody is always going to have their guard up until they get to know you. Once you get to know someone, the way that you add and build onto the relationship or the friendship is by educating yourself with the culture. If I go around other people, I don't need to tell them every single thing about my life, right? Why is that? Is because if they haven't experienced these particular things, then for them, it's just information. It's not part of the culture. So if I sit down and I'm sitting down with, like, let's just say 3 white people, right? 3, 4, 5 white people. And I keep telling them about, I do stand-up comedy. The reason why they will be excited for me is because they what? They already know the culture of comedy. They'll be like, man, this guy Leon, that's me, Leon can be the next Richard Pryor. I like comedy. I like Bernie Mac, Steve Harvey, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart. So it's not that the white people like me, it's the fact that I am part of the comedy culture. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, it has nothing to do with my skin color, right? It has everything to do with the culture. Again, this is why it's so important to educate yourself, because if I go around a group of people, again, it could be 5 white people that own businesses. They're entrepreneurs. I'm going to be out of place if I'm not an entrepreneur. The most I can get in that form of unity is information from them. How can I become an entrepreneur? And they may give me some tips, but they're not going to give me all the information, because why? I don't know their culture. Now, let's say I go and I open up my own business, right? Doesn't matter if the business fails or if it's prospering. The fact that I'm a business owner opens up the door for me to make connections with other business owners. Has nothing to do with if the business owner is white, black, or Hispanic. It has everything to do with the fact that I'm in the culture of business. they're in the culture of business. This is the reason why with Barack Obama, right? He's our former president of the United States. This puts him in a position, not because of the color of his skin, but because of the position and culture of being a president. He now has connections with other presidents in the future. He has connections with universities. He has connections with churches. He has connections with community events. Why? Not because of the color of his skin, but because of the culture of being a president. And so that means everybody in the world is familiar with what? Presidents. We're all familiar with the culture of politics. Even if we don't like politics or we don't know much about politics, the fact of the matter is if you live in America, you know about politics in some fashion or form or fashion. So what we have to understand is life is about learning the culture. I'll close with this.